quickly let's talk about the CAF Awards, the big one. Remember some time ago, there was a list that came out in the CAF Award that said that Victor Boniface, Lookman, and who else now? Brahim Diaz met the court for the last three. When CAF never even gave a list. And certainly we also talked about it a bit. And then we clarified it wasn't the right list anyway afterwards. But CAF has brought out the list now. And it's that conversation. Let's quickly look at the list of players that's made it to the top, looking forward to the December 16, 2024 Marrakesh, Morocco event that will take place. And there are 10 players nominated in each category. Well, first of all, we begin with Player of the Year, the big one now. Sadly, in Fonitina, the likes of Brahim Diaz, Victor Boniface didn't make the 10 list in this one now, which was originally projected. But talking about it, Amish Gouri of Algeria places club football in French Rennes, and Edmond Topsoba of Burkina Faso, Bayer Leverkusen, was quite fantastic at the AFCON. Simon Adringa, who mesmerized against Nigeria at the finals of Cote d'Ivoire, who plays for Brighton and Hove Albion, the only player playing from the English Premier Football League represented in this list. Chancel Mbemba of DR Congo, Olympic Marseille, Sego Gadassi, Guinea, not playing so well at Guinea at the African Cup of Nations, but finds his name here, represented Borussia Dortmund. Handcraft Hakimi of Morocco, and plays for Paris Saint-Germain. Sofian Rahimi, Morocco, Al Ain, he plays for Adama Lookman of Nigeria, Atlanta, and William Ekong, the best player at the AFCON, Nigeria, Al Khulud, and Rowan Williams, South Africa, and Mamelodi Sundown goalkeeper. He's been nominated apart being part of the Ballon d'Or goalkeepers, and it makes all the difference. What do you make of the list? Any disappointment? And some big names missing out?
Well, I think the likes of Mohamed Salah missing out of that list is really questionable. Even the likes of Victor Boniface had a stellar season at Bayer Leverkusen.
Some quarters even mentioned Nicholas Jackson.
Come on, Nicholas Jackson deserves to stay out of that list. Had a very disappointing season. But I think Victor Boniface deserves to be in that list. Looking at the likes of Sofian Brahimi, we have the likes of Segu Gurasi. He did not have a better season compared to Victor Boniface. So I don't understand.
Even more Salah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So I don't think I don't understand the criteria for this particular list, but whatever the organizers of the tournament of the awards want to do, I think it's left to them. It's best known to them. But for me, I think Victor Boniface deserves to be on this particular list. He had a stellar season and should be awarded.
Victor Boniface has come out loud and says, "Well, this is not African best list. This is basically Afghan best list, because if you talk about African best list, it covers the Afghan, it covers European competition and other competition." And you see some players that even make this list now, the likes of Sofian Rahimi for Morocco, who plays club football for Al Ain in the Middle East, and you begin to question how he gets to feature in this now. I wouldn't want to ask what you make of it, but now the list is here, little can be done about it. At the end of it, I still ask what you make of it. Who are the possible winners in this one?
Well, first of all, I have to start with many controversies surrounding the list here, because there are several question marks. Some saying yes, it is particularly solely down to players who participated at the AFCON. But I've also, got question marks for CAF at the moment, because if you look at bulk of those players now, what were their stellar contributions for their respective national teams on the continent of Africa? A Moroccan player is there. Where did Morocco finish at the AFCON? You look at, of course, some other players as well. Guinea, Seo Grass is there. Where did Guinea finish at the AFCON? How many games did he play at the tournament? How pivotal was he at the tournament as well? So
it was barely coming off the bench.
So you look at all of these indices now. I still feel Victor Boniface stood a better chance of course, being included in this particular list. But it is here as well. We can't change
not
anything.
just Boniface alone. You talk about Mo Salah.
I could also talk about Mo Salah.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm talking about Victor Boniface because he's a lot closer to us. A man who won the treble, the German Cup, the German Super Cup, and of course the German Bundesliga.
He deserves
absolutely. He deserves to be in the list as well. But going forward, the list this year, my pick will still be Ademre Lookman, an outstanding player for me. Scored a brace in the UEFA Europa League final against Bayer Leverkusen.
What about William Trusecon?
Well,
the best player at the AFCON.
The best player.
If you talk about the best competition in African football, that was the biggest competition. I'm going somewhere. You share your thought. And similar to a season where you have the World Cup, the best player at the World Cup most likely it wins the best player of the world. And now you have the AFCON, a big case for William Trusecon there.
One thing we should also understand is the basic fact that it is not just really about predictions. We're talking about casting votes here, so it could go either way. But I'm looking at Ademre Lookman now. He didn't just stop at club level. took it to, of course, the AFCON. It was one of the outstanding players for Nigeria.
Well, I think he took it from AFCON to the club.
No, he took it. No. However, you want to look at it.
Well at the AFCON. Before AFCON, not many people really knew
I'm looking at William Trosticom. Same case could also be said for him. Before the AFCON, what was his level of contribution for his club side? So you look at all of those indices as well. Well, the Greek. Look at the quality of the Greek.
Are you not surprised before we talk about other CAF awards and we talk about again because time is fast spent, barely 5 minutes left? Are you not surprised when you look at that list and realize only one Ivorian is on that list despite winning the AFCON? Simon Adingra started playing for Ivory Coast. He was injured, semi-finals and the finals. He gave a good show at the finals, but the likes of Sangari and the rest of them, Frank Hesse not making the list.
I'm not surprised. For me, I think Ivory Coast were not a formidable team at last AFCON because they just
How do you say that?
Let's talk about the group stages.
They won one group game.
Yeah, that's the group stage.
They won just one group game and then qualified to
the defeated Mali.
Well, come on.
In round of 16, they defeated Senegal. They defeated best team at the tournament. They defeated Nigeria, and all the games they came from behind to win it.
We are talking about the cumulative performance right now. I don't think they don't have that.
I'm looking at.
If you want to say cumulative performance, I'm trying to look at from indices now. Here is it now. What do you mean cumulative performance? This guy split all the games to the finals and won it.
Well, how many games did they win in the tournament?
The thing is,
lots of games. I want to talk about.
The thing is, in that Ivorian team, you can actually pinpoint one player and single and said he was one of the best players at the AFCON. That's how I look at it. It was merely a team performance. That's why it is very rare. For Simon Adingra, why he's here is because he was the difference at the final against Nigeria.
The point is, when you compare with other players that have met this list now, you begin to question it now. Come on. Okay, there's another Ivorian here in the goalkeeping department. But you talk about it. You look at other players that have met this list, and you begin to question why they're in this list now. Achraf Hakimi, what did he really do?
That's why
apart from winning the Paris Saint-Germain compared to the Ivorians who won the Nations Cup.
That's why I asked those questions initially. The, of course, rationale behind including players who didn't do well at the AFCON at the expense of other players. I said it first of all. So I do not still feel Achraf Hakimi deserves to be in this list. But talking about the Ivorian players, I'm not actually looking at the Ivorian now and their level of performance in the tournament. I'm looking at individual brilliance in that particular team.
The conversation is no matter how you want to look
because
at it.
First up, you will also look at the players, their level of performance for in the year under review, how effective they were. Can we actually say that the same case for the Ivorian national team? It was more like a team performance. Look at the striker who now, of course, was a former Borussia Dortmund striker, Sebastian Haller. Well, some could also say he was effective in the final, but in the early stages,
late, just like Simon Adingra.
So that's
the point is, no matter how you want to talk about it, that's a conversation about Ivory Coast. They won the Nations Cup. The team of the AFCON. Only two Nigerians made the cup. Ademola Lookman and William Ekong. About 6 Ivorians in
That's because they won the AFCON. Not because they were the best team in the AFCON.
It's not like winning the World Cup. It's not like winning the World Cup.
It's not the basis of
Let's talk about. There's no time. Let's talk about all that cases now. Goalkeeper of the year. Well, good thing is we have a Nigerian in there, Stanley Nwabali, making the cut for Nigeria and Chippa United. Is that conversation? Interclub football, no Nigerian there as far as I'm concerned. Well, questions about the performance of Nigerian club sides and the coach of the year. I can't go through all the list. Time is fast spent, but sadly, the coach that took Nigeria to the final of the Nations Cup definitely missed the court in this one. Well, the likes of Kwesi Appiah of Sudan, and you begin to ask what Sudan has really done. That Kwesi Appiah is here. Hugo Brown of South Africa, we can understand. Brahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Well, Angola's coach, Pedro Goncalves in this one, I can understand. But the question would be, where is coach Jose Pizarro? Is that conversation? A young player of the year, no Nigerian, despite the fact that Nigeria has history in terms of grazing young players. And club of the year, no Nigerian club are there. A team of the year for men, Nigeria included. But in the women's category, you're always going to have those concerns about reigning African football of the year. Cesar Oshola missing out from the court.